Hey guys, welcome to this online acting masterclass brought to you by APA Talent. I'm Jason Farries, I'm going to be your acting coach, and today I'm going to be running through everything you need to know about self-tape auditions. So let's get started. So what is a self-tape audition? A self-tape audition is exactly what it sounds like. It's an audition that you film at home in order to send to the casting director. And there's a lot of reasons you'll be asked to self-tape, but mainly it's just a convenient way for the casting director to give you an audition without having to arrange a meeting in person. And this comes with a lot of advantages, but the main advantage is that you can take the time to make your audition absolutely perfect. And by the end of this class, you'll know how to do just that. So let's get started with some of the technical aspects that you need to know. The technical side of filming your self-tape is all about picture and sound quality. In this section, I'm going to teach you how to film your self-tape so that it is totally, technically perfect. Film in HD. When casting directors watch your self-tape, they're going to want to see you as clearly as possible. And the way to do that is to film in high definition. Now, don't worry, you're not going to need some flashy, expensive camera. All you need is one of these. Most smartphones these days film in HD quality, so by using a phone, you can have nice, clear picture quality for all of your self-tapes. Have a clear background. Now, you may have noticed my lovely blank background behind me. This is just my bedroom wall, and this is how I personally do all of my self-tape auditions. And when you do your self-tape audition, you want the focus to be entirely on your performance. And the way to do that is to have a nice, clear, empty background so that there's nothing distracting from what you're doing. Light it up. A camera is only as good as the lighting that you use. But as you can see, I have quite good lighting on me right now. It's natural, it's bright, there's no shadows on the back wall, and there's no shadows on my face. But when you use bad lighting, you can't really see what's going on. And when there are lots of shadows, it looks weird and it ruins your lovely plain background. Now, at this point, you may be asking yourself, Jason, how do I make the lighting look good? Well, here's a top tip from me. Find yourself a room in your house which has lots of natural light coming in. I always find it's best to film near a window because that's usually the best light source. If you'd like to go the extra mile though, what you can do is invest in one of these. This is just a simple light box. It cost about £15 on Amazon, and it's the best accessory I've ever bought. Now I have nice, well-lit videos for all of my self-tape auditions. Sound check. Can you hear me? What? Sorry, it's too loud. Wait a second. There we go. When doing your self-tape audition, it's important to make sure that there's no distracting background noises. Because if you're doing your Oscar-worthy acting, and there's lots of music playing or banging or clattering, then they're not going to be able to appreciate everything you're doing. So, keep an ear out for anything making a racket. Keep it steady. Whoa. Oh. Earthquake! Everyone duck for cover! Wait, it's not earthquake. Oh, it's just camera shake. Oh, typical. Well, seeing as it's not the ground shaking, how about we keep it nice and steady for everyone watching at home? Okay? Great. And to everyone watching at home, if you don't want the casting director to experience an earthquake as well, I suggest you do the same. Now, for all of my self-tapes, I like to use this very simple phone tripod, which I bought off Amazon. I recommend you invest in one of these because it's so much easier than balancing your phone on a shelf or trying to stack up some random objects. And trust me, when your mum holds the camera, it's never as steady as it should be. Don't believe me? This is handheld footage. Does this seem steady to you? All right, thanks, Mum. Height and framing. This one's super simple. When you place your camera, make sure it's the same level as your eyes. Otherwise, if you place it too high, or if it's too low, then we're not going to be able to see you properly. Oh, and as for framing, the best framing you can use is just like this. Head and shoulders in shot with a little bit of room above the head. Perfect. Okay, so now we've done the technical side of filming your self-tape, it's time to move on to the acting side. but don't get comfortable. The acting part is actually a little bit trickier than getting your camera technique right. And if you don't believe me, wait until you try it for yourself. So, let's take a look at the technique, shall we? Acting for self-tapes. Learn your lines. This is so obvious. Oh my God, Jason, duh, of course I'm gonna learn my lines. You'd be surprised how many professional actors still don't learn their lines properly for their auditions. If you want to look like a pro and you want to make sure you get that role, you got to learn your lines inside out and back to front. And don't think we won't notice a script in your hand, because it looks a little something like this. What's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland. No, my fair cousin, if we are marked to die, we are enough to do our country loss. We can see you looking down, so learn your lines or look silly. Don't look at the camera. Yes, indeed, don't look at the camera. This is something so important. So when we're actually acting for film, we don't look at the camera, because when you look at the camera, you're looking directly at the audience. And that's not what we usually see in films. So if we don't do it when we're actually filming, why would you do it here? So here's what it should look like. Look somewhere just off camera so that we're still able to see your face and your eyes, but you're no longer looking directly at us. This way it'll feel like we're watching a conversation rather than you're having a conversation with us. Speak clearly, but don't project. This is important because some of you might be used to performing on the stage. And the stage is a wonderful place where we get to use our boldest speaking voice to carry a performance across an entire auditorium. But when we're acting for film, or when we're making a self-tape, you don't have to work so hard, because the microphone is right there with you. So as long as you're using good diction, good pronunciation, you're speaking clearly, then we should be able to hear you nice and easily. Don't blink too much. Now, you may be wondering why I'm making this point. Perhaps you can tell me. When we're filming, one of the most important tools that we use is our eyes. Our eyes contain all of our emotions and feelings, and we use our eyes to help express those emotions. So if you're blinking too much, it looks super weird. And you're also not communicating all those lovely, lovely emotions through your eyes. So I'm not saying have a staring contest with the wall, but I am saying try not to let them flutter too much. Just keep your eyes peeled. See what I did there? What are you doing with your hands? I don't know about you guys, but I talk a lot with my hands. Lots of people do it. It's so natural. But when we're doing a self-tape, it can cause problems. For example, if I was to point near the camera, then suddenly I've got giant hands. And that's very distracting from your face. Or maybe you can't see your hands, but you're doing lots of movement with them. You can still tell, right? It looks like I'm fidgeting. So unless it's important to the script, try and keep your hands relaxed and by your side, and that way we can focus on what's important, which is your performance. Watch yourself. When making a self-tape audition, the most important thing that we can do is watch ourselves back again after we've filmed it. Now, I know that some people hate watching themselves on camera, they hate hearing the sound of their own voice. Whatever, we've all been there, but you still have to do it. You've got to be able to watch your performance and look for any mistakes. Are you looking at the camera? Are you blinking too much? Is there a funny noise in the background? Whatever it is, you can't send that off to a casting director, because if you've spotted mistakes, then they're going to spot mistakes. And if you can do it better, then you absolutely should do it better. After all, why wouldn't you send off the very best version of your audition? You want to get the part, right? So watch it back again, be critical of your performance, and look out for any mistakes. What are you wearing? Hey guys, what's up? I'm Jason, and I'm here to audition for the part of Charles Dickens. Yeah, I don't think this guy's getting the part, do you? No. Your wardrobe can be an important part of your audition too. In most cases, the best thing that you can wear is a simple t-shirt that looks nice on you, but doesn't blend with your background. You want to try and avoid anything that draws too much attention, like colourful patterns, accessories, hats, colourful makeup. It should just look like you. Tidy, with your hair done nicely, and a simple outfit. That way the focus is entirely on your performance. But here's a little secret tip for you. Choosing the right outfit can be super helpful. Maybe you're auditioning to play a news anchor. I'm Jason, and this is the News at 10. Or maybe an Olympic athlete. Yeah, we ran a really good race today, and I'm honoured to be part of these games. Or maybe a lumberjack? Well, I've been cutting down trees for 20 years. Ever since I was a boy, yes sir. Huh? I'm not saying you should go out and buy the full costume for your audition, but I am saying that a suggestion of character through your clothing can help the casting director to imagine you in that role. So just keep in mind that your wardrobe is an extremely important part of your audition too. Acting slates. Now, we're almost at the end of the video, and I hope you've learned a lot from today's class, but there's one more thing I need to teach you before we finish. Acting slates. Acting slates are just a short introduction with your details so that the casting director knows who you are. If you're asked to do this, it'll usually include your name, your age, your agency, and the role you're auditioning for. So it should look a little something like this. Hi, I'm Jason Farries, I'm 24, I'm with APA Talent Agency, and I'm auditioning for the role of King Henry VIII. Be sure to smile when you're doing your acting slate. This is just a little impression of who you are as a person, and the casting director wants to see that you're someone positive that they want to work with. So be warm, be friendly, and you'll make the right impression. And that's it. That's everything from me today. I hope you've enjoyed this acting masterclass brought to you by APA Talent. And if you have a self-tape audition coming up, then I wish you the very best of luck. And I'm sure that if you use these top tips from today, you'll have a really good chance of getting that part. So have fun with it, good luck, and I will see you soon.